up, y'all? This is your girl, Namia Carnice, with another edition of She is Namia's High Heels and Lipstick Conversations, where we have topics for the mature woman, the grown-ass woman, the seasoned woman, from every walk of life. We aim to uplift, empower, educate, and encourage the woman within, mind, body, and spirit. So let's get to it, y'all. It's High Heels and Lipstick Conversations with your girl, Namia. Come on and tap in. What is up, y'all? What is up? Yes, it is your girl. She is Namia with another edition of High Heels and Lipstick Conversations. I'm just let y'all come on in the room, as you have heard me say plenty of times. It is a Sunday. I could not come to you guys and have this conversation with you on Wednesday, but yet here we are on Sunday, the Lord's Day. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, as the Bible tells us. But come on in the room, y'all. We got some good conversation for you on this evening. Look, my goal is not to be before you long on tonight. I see a couple people coming in. As you come in, come on and check in. As I always ask, every High Heels and Lipstick conversation, show me that you are here, that you are a part of the conversation on this evening. You can put some kissy lips in the chat. You can put some high heels in the chat. You can put some lipsticks in the chat. If you are a brother that's checking in, you can put some fist ups in the air, some arms in the air, and let me know that you are checking in. What is up, Denise? Thank you for checking in. Do you got your wine on, Chill? Did you got your wine? I'm sure you got your wine. Yes, I got my wine too, sis. Thank you for checking in on this evening. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the support. That means more to me than you would know. I really appreciate you. So yes, come on and check on in, y'all. Check on in. Come on. What's up, Latrice? Sora Latrice, thank you for checking in on this evening. It is good to see you. It was so wonderful to see you a couple weeks ago for the sneakers ball. It was a lovely time. Had a very good time. So I am so thankful, so grateful that you are checking in with me on this evening. Come on and check in. So listen, I got some brothers that's going to check in with us in a minute. They're just in the background trying to, get their technology and all that together. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Listen, the Bears and the Packers play tonight. Yes, so I am more than just prissy. I'm more than just high heels and lipstick. I do like sports. And so today is Sunday night football. And so I know my husband is out back. He is already in football mode, but I had to come on tonight, have the conversation that we're having tonight, but I do plan on joining him to watch some football. So that's why I'm not going to plan to be before for y'all real long, but we are going to have some good conversation on tonight. Listen, it has been a trying week. Actually, it's been a trying several weeks, I would say that. And I'm just going to start tonight by saying take care of yourself, ladies. I'm going to speak more on that later, before we check out today, but just take care of yourself. I have had some challenges health wise, nothing that's, too much to be concerned about, but challenges that I just never had before, blood pressure challenges, things of that nature. Even though I work out and things like that, I'm not a skinny chick. I'll never be a skinny chick, and that's okay. I'm not trying to be. But I've always been in pretty good health, in pretty good shape. But sometimes we as women, and I have probably talked about this before, we take on too much, we do too much, our plates are overloaded. Sometimes we are career women, we're mothers, we're wives, we're grandmothers, we just do a lot, and sometimes that can catch up with us. And so so it caught up with me, which was the reason why I couldn't come before you on Wednesday. I needed to get some rest, y'all. I needed to rest. It was doctor's orders, just because I had been in go mode, and I just needed to slow down, and just take care of myself and rest, and just not do a whole lot. So I am finding that I need to do that way more often than I ever have before. And so, take care of yourself, ladies. So if you are like me, you always got a million and one things going on. Thank you for the prayers, Denise. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. But if you are like me, I'm serious. When we get a little older, listen, we cannot do the stuff that we used to do when we was younger. So if you are like me and you always got, a bunch of stuff going on, sometimes you got to step back and take your rest, get your rest, and just chill out. So that's what I had to do. That's what I have been doing. So, that's where we are. Take care of yourself, ladies. Take care of yourself. We can't be superwoman all the time. Sometimes we got to slow down and chill and rest. So yes. So, okay, let's move forward. So, okay, we're going to go into our conversation. I'm still waiting for my brothers behind the scenes to get the technology together. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about some trending topics. Listen, okay, some trending topics. So I don't know how many of you have gone to see The Woman King with Viola Davis. Listen, I have not yet gone to see this movie. I keep telling my husband we are going to see this movie. I love Viola Davis. In my eyes, this woman can do no wrong. I had an opportunity to see her some years, a few years back, before I relocated from the Indianapolis area. And I was in awe of this woman. Let me just show you one more time. Viola Davis, Woman King. And this movie came out on September 14th. It has already, it is already in its opening weekend made $19 million. Opening weekend, The Woman King. But it is not without its controversy. Listen, I have to tell you. So this movie, The Woman King, has been getting so much backlash for a couple of different reasons, and let me just get it together. It is based off. Let me just give you the context, though. It's based off the Dahomey tribe, okay, which was this tribe in West Africa in the earlier 17th century. And they were, this very developed tribe of people. on the West Africa. But in that tribe, they had some women warriors. Okay. And so this movie is based off of the Dahomey tribe women warriors. There's a couple different controversies that are at play with this movie, which is crazy to me. So one is there is a lot of backlash from us Black folk and the Homie tribe, and the fact that this tribe played a part in the Atlantic slave trade. Okay, so they were one of the tribes that and upon my research to look further into the Dahomey tribe, and that's Dhomey. You can look them up. You can go Google this tribe. It will tell you that there were women warriors in that tribe, but they are also a tribe that is attached to the slave trade, which we are a product of. Okay, West African kingdom or tribe, and so there's a lot of controversy over this movie because of that. And the fact that moviegoers, some people are offended that this tribe, this portrayal, this warrior portrayal of this tribe is being glamorized in such a way when in fact they are one of the tribes that are responsible for helping to see Black folks come over here on the shores of Virginia, Massachusetts, wherever we first landed, when we first landed. Okay. So there's a whole, controversy about that, and it's all in the media. And the director, Gina Price Bythewood, she's sharing her response about all of the controversy behind the movie, and pretty much saying it's an accurate portrayal. They're saying, the critics are saying, the Dahomey and the female military members of this Adobe were not brave liberators. Instead, the critics are saying that they were guilty of selling Black men and women to the Americas. And so Pricewood's response was that there's no use of fighting about this. She says that I learned early on you cannot win in an argument, because it's been all over Twitter, right? So she says, I learned early on you can't win in an argument on Twitter. All I know, all of that is going to go away once they see the film. So she's encouraging people, you haven't even gone to see the film, but y'all on Twitter fighting about this tribe. There's an assumption we're dealing with it, and there's an assumption we're not dealing with it, and we are dealing with it. So apparently, I have not seen the movie. It is on my to-do list. I am going out and told my husband 3, 4, 5 times, baby, we're going to see this movie. But she's saying that there is an element in the movie that deals with the fact that this tribe played a part in the slave trade. So I have to live in that confidence. And then they're going to see and they're going to see it. So in other words, she's saying, I was not remiss in touching on that topic. So go see the movie. It had made $19 million in its opening weekend. So has anybody seen it? Anybody out there that's checking in seen the movie yet? What were your thoughts? All I have seen was nothing but rave reviews. All of my friends that I have seen on Facebook that have gone to see this movie have made posts, have shared their thoughts on this movie, and it, from what I can hear, is just awesome. So listen, y'all go see this movie. Listen, quit trying to find stuff to bitch and complain about. Go see this movie. Viola Davis is a thespian. She is a wonderful actress. She is one of our own. We need to support this sister. She is a great example of, just a thespian, a woman that's doing her thing. I love her um, demeanor, her talk. I love, go see the movie, go see the movie, judge for yourself. Some people would argue that they're tired of seeing these kinds of movies, slave movies and things like that, but it's not. It's about these women warriors, and it's okay to showcase women warriors. I also have seen controversy where there is a segment of men who are not happy about the movie. Right, Denise, it just makes me want to go see it more. But there's a segment of some men who are not happy about the movie because it focuses on the women in the women warriors in the Dahomey tribe, and it uplifts them. And there's some men out there that are kind of fragile, I suppose, um, and doesn't feel that this is an accurate portrayal. But you always got something to complain about. Go see the movie. It's I'm sure it's a great movie. It is probably not meant to tell the story verbatim. There probably are some fictitiousness to the movie, but go see the movie. Go support Viola. Whatever, somebody else got something to say. Okay, so the other controversy that's just making its waves right now is poor um, Haley Bailey. Okay. And she is playing the Little Mermaid, and there is a lot of racist backlash because critics say that she is not an accurate depiction of Little Mermaid, the Little Mermaid. Okay. Because she black, she a little black girl. And the character of Little Mermaid, as it's seen on screen, is not a little black girl with braids. It's a little white girl with red hair. Okay. Listen, I saw a meme that was in reference to this controversy that was like, if y'all tripping on Little Mermaid, because Little Mermaid is being portrayed by somebody black, wait till y'all see Jesus. Y'all really gonna be mad. Yeah, there is a lot of controversy. There's a lot of backlash over the fact that this precious little girl, Haley, and she's probably a teenager. She's probably an older teenager now. I'm calling her a little girl as if she's a little bit bitty girl, but she has received so much backlash because she is portraying this Little Mermaid, particularly by white people who have a problem with the fact that this Disney character is being portrayed by a melanated young black girl. And so it's a lot of hate going on. There's a lot of memes that's being passed around. It's atrocious. It's gone viral. And they're saying stuff like she looks nothing like the original. Um, she looks nothing like her. How do I even know that she's a mermaid? Just asinine things. And what makes it even more interesting is that Little Mermaid is a fictitious character. Okay. So it's not as if Haley Bailey, not to be confused with Holly Berry, is portraying a true character. It's a fictitious character, a little fish, a little mermaid chick that lives at the bottom of the sea and has a best friend that has a Jamaican accent. So, why is that causing white people so much? Why is that causing y'all so much frustration? It's a fictitious character. Listen, not only that, Disney is biting back. If I don't know, but research some of the movies that's coming out from Disney that's coming up. I mean, listen, they're finna make a whole lot of white people mad. Is all I'm gonna say. Yeah. But I just think overall, it's unfortunate. It's just another attack on young black girls. again, I have said this before, we are the most emulated, but also the most disrespected. And it's just it's sad. It's sad to see a young girl, this young girl who this is a breakout moment for her in her career, that she has to face and endure. She is somebody's daughter, she's somebody's granddaughter, she's somebody's sister, she's somebody's, whatever, and she has to endure all of this racist backlash on her portraying a fictitious, a Disney, an imaginary character, and white people mad. We got a lot of work to do. We really got a lot of work to do. So, y'all see that as well. Y'all support Halle Berry. They can get pissed, they can get mad, but what impacts the most is how we go and support. So y'all go support that little girl, Haley, our baby Haley. Let her know that she is loved and she is supported by us as her people. And y'all go support Viola Davis. Let her know that she is loved and supported by her people. Okay. Promise me that. I'm going to see Woman King soon, and I'm going to make sure that I support Little Mermaid with Little Haley on it. Okay. Let us get into it. Let's get into our conversation on tonight. My brother is backstage. And so we ready to have and dig into this conversation. Listen, before we dig into the conversation, I'm going to share with you. So if you were with me a couple weeks ago, we talked about this month is going to be a little sexy, a little spicy, a little saucy. So tonight we're going to have some of that sexy, spicy, saucy conversation. Last week, or the week before last, when I came before you, we talked about women and their sexuality and how all these things have impacted us as Black women. We're afraid to talk about it. Culturally, we've been impacted. We come from a very religious culture. We love the Lord, we love the church, and so certain things about us as Black women are not acceptable. But also that we're living in a much more liberated, I guess I should say, society, and so some of those things are changing. Okay. So we're going to continue on in some of that conversation, but tonight we're going to get some brothers' perspective. Okay. So I'm going to say this. In the past, before listen, y'all know that I am strongly opinionated. I'm very firm in my beliefs. I am very much about women's empowerment. But the thing that I appreciate about my guest tonight, we have one of my brothers who's checked in. He's backstage, and then we should have another brother that's joining me. Is that don't scare them, okay? They don't be tripping off of that. Because it's I never I'm not stern to the point where that I will not open myself to a brother's perspective. I'm married to a Black man, so obviously I have to have some quality about me that is open to receive what brothers have to say or what have you, because my husband is one who is opinionated and and he's manly man and all of those things. But that quality about me doesn't scare the brothers that are going to share on us tonight. But I also respect them, and I respect their thoughts. I respect their opinion. I'm familiar with them as men. So we're going to get into some conversation on tonight. But before we do, so I always like to share a little bit about to kind of give us some foundation. So one of the things that we will talk about a little bit tonight is about sex appeal and what is sexy and what is appealing to men from a man's perspective, because sometimes we as women have one thought and perception, and it's totally different in how some men perceive sex appeal and sexy. But I want to share this article, and I'm going to share the link there. The article, the name of the article is "Your Sex Appeal Has No Expiration Date, Sis." Okay. And this article is by Javasia Harris Bowser. You can look it up, you can Google it. But this is the name of the article. And in this article, she talks about women who are getting older, women who are, aging. Gravity shifts as we get older. Some things change. Our skin changes. Our hair gets grayer. And then how we feel about ourselves changes. But she gives some very good advice on what we can do to shift our mindset, because oftentimes how we feel about ourselves, our sexiness as we get older, as we get 40 plus, and we start having hot flashes and all of those things, it affects how we even perform in the bedroom, I guess I should say. And so one of the things, couple of pieces of advice that she talks about, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. She says, manage your mindset. Ditch the notion that your body needs to look a certain way, which I think is very important, because as we get older, unfortunately, still, as we get older, we tend to think that young girls are the ones that are impacted the most by social media images and so forth, and they are. But we too, even as seasoned women, we too get impacted by the images that we see in media. So she says, manage your mindset. She says, don't compare and despair. Especially, comparing yourself to other folks. Comparison is the thief of joy. She gives the advice to get healthy and stay healthy. So as we get older, ladies, we got to start working on ourselves. I just told you a week ago, for the last maybe 6 weeks, I've not been feeling my best, not been feeling myself. And so, there were blood pressure issues and things of that nature. But she talks about, as we age, the fact that we need to, stay abreast of that stuff. Stay abreast, know your numbers, all of that stuff. All this adds to how we feel about ourselves, how sexy we feel. Okay. Then she also gives the advice to move your body, get regular exercise. And then she talks about talk it out with your man. Talk it out with your man to help you, boost your confidence, feel good about yourself, and all of that stuff. And then she says to treat yourself. So it's a really good article. But she ends it with saying, the better you feel about yourself, the better your sex life is going to be. So self-love is an aphrodisiac. No position will ever be as powerful as feeling desirable and sexy from the inside out. So a lot of how we feel about ourselves has a lot to do with how we treat ourselves and confidence and all that. So read that article. It's good, and it's all, that's what we're talking about all tonight. Okay. So I'm going to introduce my brother. We're going to bring him in. Okay. And I'm going to get his reaction. Okay. From his perspective, because it's all about his perspective, and we're going to listen and learn. I do want you to add in the conversation. If you are checking in with me, again, put some kissy lips, some high heels, something in the chat to let me know that you are here. But I got 17 things that men find sexy about women. Okay. So I'm going to get my brother's reaction and see if he agrees. We're going to talk about some of this stuff. Won't y'all give a warm welcome to my brother, Mark B. Give him a hand clap. What's up, Mark? How you doing?
What's good? I'm good. How you doing?
Listen, and am I interrupting your game? Are you watching football?
I'm a Bears fan, so the Bears come on at 7:30. It's cool though,
I know.
because I'm confident that we're gonna
we'll be done by then.
We're gonna beat the Packers, so we're gonna be done. I'm just be checking out how many points they got over the Packers. So I'm cool with it right now.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for joining me on a Sunday night football when you could have been doing any and everything. Denise is giving you a hand clap, giving you a fist up for joining
Thank
on this evening. We're supposed to have another brother. Maybe he's having technical difficulties, but it's okay.
you. Same.
Um, it's all right. I shared before you came on. You probably heard me stage saying that I respect your thoughts. I respect your opinion.
Appreciate it.
And I'm choosy about who I bring to the platform. And so I'm thankful that you agreed to come and have some discussion from the brother's perspective today.
I love it. I love the conversation. I love the back and forth, and because I was raised around mostly women, this is nothing new to me. I can have a conversation and even a debate because we've had plenty of those.
Yes, we have.
Okay. But it's all love though, so I'm good with it.
Yes, it's all love. Chantel is checking in, saying, hey, sending some 95 love. Yes. So the other thing, Mark, so we're familiar with each other. We go way back in the same social circle in Indianapolis, but we also are from the best class alive, and that's 95.
95, baby. That's
95.
Right.
Ain't too many can do it like us. We're also from the G. We represent
definitely
the G and 95 at all times, right?
Right. So many connections, so many friends that we have in common and stuff like that. So yeah, it's we got a lot of connection.
Right. So I know that. So before we dig into our conversation, I know that you yourself have had this same type of platform where you had a talk show or radio show. Are you still doing those things? You still have that platform for yourself?
Currently, I don't. I am working on reissuing. Currently, I was reissuing a book that I put out previously called "The Man Up Blueprint."
Okay.
That'll be coming soon.
That sounds kind of good and interesting.
Yeah, it's I issued it before, but decided that there was some updates and some not corrections, but really giving people a little bit more context to some of the things that I discussed in there. It's the book is for any dude that grew up without a father in his life, trying to figure out how to be a man, and for mothers who are raising their little sons to be men without the help of the co-parent, and thoughts that he may have, just because we don't think about those things. Our mothers may not be inclined to know those things. So I got that coming out. I'm going to get back into podcasting because if I don't, then I'll just be on Facebook rambling and Instagram rambling. So why why do that, right? So I will eventually. So I'm figuring that process out right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Man Up, you said it's called the Man Up edition?
The Man Up Blueprint.
Blueprint.
Yep.
I mean, that sounds like a necessary blueprint. That sounds like a necessary information necessary for, this generation, even our generation that, a lot of us grew up in single mother homes, and it impacts women the same way that it impacts men. And so, those are, yeah.
I think and I had to tell my mom about it because I had to discuss some things that happened when we were younger, and just the dynamics of, like, if I could kind of describe it, the background of it is a son trying to figure out how to relate to his mom, even because my relationship with her had to change, and it wasn't just her that had to change, it was me that had to change how I viewed her. Because when you're a boy, you view your mom as mom, but she's a whole human being out there. You know what I'm saying? She was somebody's daughter and somebody's wife and somebody's girlfriend. So I just, when I was writing it, the intention that I had was telling people it's difficult, especially for a black man, when you grow from being a boy and everybody's loving everything that you do, good, bad, or ugly, and then you have some responsibilities once you hit 18 and
Mm-hmm.
you're no longer a cute little boy anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I just hope it helps somebody.
Yeah. Well, we have to have you back when that new
Sure.
edition is ready and goes to
Yeah,
print. We would definitely have you back to talk more in depth about the book and tell people where they
appreciate
can
it.
go and purchase it and all that. But we here for a little more lighthearted conversation on
Yeah.
today. Okay.
Cool. Let's
So
get
the
it.
ladies want to hear from a brother,
Hmm.
okay? Because we have all this month been talking about sexy, spicy, saucy stuff on high heels and lipstick conversations.
Okay.
Tonight we're talking about what is sexy. What is sexy from a man's perspective? Okay.
Okay.
So I got a couple that I'm gonna throw out here, and we're gonna talk
Oh,
about them. I'm probably gonna talk about some other random stuff because that's what we do too.
okay.
But sometimes we have our own perception of what we feel is sexy, or what is or what we give off as sexy, and sometimes it comes across
Hmm.
in a way that you guys don't necessarily view as sexy. Okay, now we all know that when it comes to sexy and sex appeal, men will have sex
Yeah.
with a woman, a hot thing, um,
Hmm.
but it doesn't always necessarily translate to that person being something that's appealing or even sexy to them, I guess I should say. Okay.
True.
So I got 17 things. I don't know if we're gonna get through all of them. We may combine some, but I got 17 things that men find sexy and appealing in women, and I want your reaction to some of this. So, okay, so the first one is calmness. Calmness. So this is what the 17 things, how it starts off. It says, for the most part, men do not like drama queens, which means they do not find women who gossip a lot, make impulsive decisions, have emotional conversations and drama attractive or sexy. Men prefer a woman who stay calm and relaxed. What
Yes.
say you, Mark B?
Yeah, I think we don't we're not sitting there like looking across the room like, man, she looks so calm. She looks so looks so relaxed. I'm gonna have to get at that right now. We I will say women need to understand that there's a difference between the type of woman that you will take down and the type of woman that you will build with.
Okay,
Now, our standards are really, really low when it comes to who we'll
take it
take
down.
down. Yeah.
Okay,
As far as who we'll build with, the standards are kind of high. Now, that is describing the type of woman that you want to build with. No, we don't. I mean, you think about yourself in professional settings. You don't want somebody on your arm that is going like flip the table over or start grabbing the mic from the MC and cussing people out. You know what I'm saying?
you don't want
So
no
yeah,
ghetto bunny.
absolutely not. Now,
Okay.
will we take down the ghetto bunny? Yes, yes, we
Okay.
will. But
So this is a good question because my audience, listen, we are seasoned women that wear high heels and lipsticks, right? Okay.
yes, yeah.
So does that change with time? Like, do you as men get to an age or a certain age, and you just say, I don't even want to take down the ghetto bunny. I don't even want nothing to do with that kind of.
Kind of. Well, because it depends on what you accumulate as a man, right? Like when you don't got nothing, you can care less. You
Right.
know, when you have something to lose, then yeah, your tastes change. Now you can find a woman that has that same body type, but she has a PhD. You can find a woman that has that same body type, but she works as a supervisor in the bank or something like that, and she has her brain on straight. When you don't have anything, you can care less. She could work at Wendy's. It doesn't matter. She's a body type is what you're looking at, or a face is what you're looking at. So your standards are low. But as you get older, hopefully you've accumulated more. You've gone through women who had less to lose, so they turn up at the drop of a hat, and you've seen the end result of that. Most guys, once they get to the age where they want to ride out life with somebody, they want somebody peaceful on their arm. That's gonna keep them peaceful. They don't want somebody that they always got to apologize for.
Okay. So that's interesting. Okay, so Denise says that scratch of the beard says different. You seem kind of unsure about something.
No, the truth is, like, dudes are always attracted to. We're visually stimulated.
Right.
So will a 40-year-old dude still find a chick attractive that is crazy and buck wild and stuff like that? Yeah, he'll find her attractive, but then you weigh the pros and cons when you get older. You're like, man, is she worth it?
Right.
I don't feel like dealing with all that drama, and then we'll back away. You know what I mean?
Well, I went through that drama and all that in my 20s.
And you remember what had happened and how many times you got locked up behind this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? So as you get older, are you less physically attracted to that person? No. Are you less mentally or emotionally attracted to her? Yes. And those will supersede. Your priorities will change as you get older.
Right. You mature. You want something different.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So that's a very good question. So I have been on a couple podcast panels with some folks, and there is this ongoing thing about men. They get older. Women, we get older, we're not as attractive, we're not as valuable. And so men your age, and because we're about in the same age group, you about in the same age group as my husband, but men in your age group, they start to find more value in younger women. And so then those men get mad because us as women, like, well, y'all giving us pedophile vibes because you want somebody fresh out of high school, who does creepy. Not have, who has not developed mentally, who has not, who doesn't have any life experiences. You want to get 45, almost 50, and then you want a young thing, and all she looking at you is for your money, and she thinks you gross at the same damn time.
little young tender. Yeah. You know what? So again, men are visually stimulated, right? And it's not like older women are not attractive, but the younger model, it's gonna be boobs still sitting up where they supposed to. Booty still right. We see that, we notice that, we appreciate it, but man, there's nothing that a 18, 20, 25-year-old can do for me, man. Look at, and the truth of the matter is,
no diss to our young sisters.
But, no disrespect. I mean, fine is fine. You fine, you're beautiful, cool, got you. But the things that you care about are not the things that I care about. And after we get done boning, then we might need to have a conversation, and that's when it's all going to go to crap. You know what I mean? Because now I'm concerned with like wealth building, and I'm concerned with politics, and I'm talking to you about redlining, and I'm talking to you about history, and you talking to me about Chief Keef or whatever. I don't like. And I'm like, okay, that stuff was important to me when I was 20.
Yeah.
But it's not important to me now. So again, it depends on where the guy is in his development. If he's still
level of maturity. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, first and foremost, let me just say, y'all 45, 40 plus, y'all killing it. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
ain't this
Listen,
ain't
ladies, what I
this is
tell
not
y'all.
this is
Listen,
not like my mom's generation's 40 some, my
we
grandma's
different,
generation.
baby.
It's not the same. Y'all doing something different. You know
We
what I
in the
mean? So
gym, we
yeah,
working out, we
yeah.
drinking water.
Mental health days you taking, you going on vacations and letting the sun hit. So it's different now.
It
It's
is.
not the same. And you recognize that, like I think we recognize now what stress does to a woman. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And a lot of the older generation, women just took on the stress that they were taking on. Men, of course, men took on stress too, but just talking about the ladies, they took on so much that they aged quicker. You know what I mean? And now
Mhm.
you all are understanding that mental health equals health, physical
Yeah.
health. So y'all not slacking. You know what I'm saying? There's some 40 pluses that's killing the 20 year olds out there. I
Yeah.
think that um, guys who mature, guys who are really like act their age and aren't trying to prove something,
Hmm.
they still value a woman that has experience. That yeah,
Hmm.
she could do some of the some of the freaky stuff in the bedroom before the check engine light come on when the
Right.
knees pop and stuff. She can do some of that stuff,
Right. We do be
but
having
she
those
can have
check
a
in.
conversation. Yeah, she can have a conversation with you, and she can talk to you about goals that you may have in your life, and she can share life experiences and stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of mature guys
Yeah.
recognize that.
It definitely has a lot to do with maturity. Denise said to me, it seems like men in that category are trying to stay in their pre-adult stage, not wanting to grow or mature. And
There's a
it
lot of
does
guys
seem
like
like
that.
that. Or unfortunately, what I have seen, the men who want women that young, like this big whole thing about the Lori Harvey thing and all that.
Yeah.
A lot of times men want women that young because they find them more controlling. I even saw a video where a man, he was probably like in his 40s, 45, said he has been more successful with women who were in their early 20s than he has with women his own age. And to me, that just screams men that just like to be in control of the situation.
Yeah. That's here's the thing. It depends on what you define success as. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, um, when you're talking about somebody that's 20 years younger than you, other than sex, right?
Uh-huh.
What 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 do they have to offer that's better than somebody around your own age? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't see it. I think that experience in life, when you're trying to build with
When you're trying to be.
somebody, you want somebody that's an asset.
Mhm.
And I think guys who date girls who are like half their age or something like that, they're not looking to build with anybody. They're just looking for somebody to come in, uh, do a couple things they like to do, and then switch out. Like they talk about Leonardo DiCaprio, and whenever a chick turns 20, there's like a million memes about whenever a chick turns 25 that he dates, he switches her out with somebody else younger,
Mhm.
right? And that kind of mind, like there's a lot of women who will say they don't they don't want to build with a guy. They want a guy who's established, right? Well, a guy who's established doesn't care about your wants, needs, or desires. He doesn't care about your goals either because he doesn't need you. He got all his stuff without you.
Yeah.
So your input is, I mean, that's cute or whatever,
Mhm.
but he doesn't really need you as a force in his life. Now, that kind of guy is probably going to date somebody who's half his age because he only needs somebody to look good on his arm, to uh, uh, have a few minutes in the bedroom, make him feel good, and then go on about their way. And
Mhm.
he'll toss you a credit card or two, let you have your fun, while he's not really valuing you.
Right.
So when you're that when there's that big an age gap,
Mhm.
um, he can't value you as a person, your thoughts and things like that. He can't.
Yeah. Yeah. We could probably talk about that forever.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's stick to topic. Okay,
you're
so
right.
calmness. So
Uh,
going back, so
calmness is cool. Calmness is
calmness
cool.
is cool.
when you're trying to build with somebody.
When you're trying
The
to
kind
build.
of brother who's looking to build and have a legacy with a woman, he values calm because we might overreact, and we need our woman to be the chick who can put her hand on our chest and be like, baby, calm down.
It's gonna
It's
be cool.
okay.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
might take it to 10 when we might only need to take it to 3.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Okay. So if you're just checking in with us, hey Gigi, Ebony, hey Melanie, hey Soratier. If you are just checking in with us, we are talking about things that men find sexy. Things that men find sexy. So we talked about calmness. Let me intelligence is on the
Mhm.
list as well. Says that my cousin went out with an extremely attractive girl. They only went out once and then he completely lost interest. I asked him what had happened. He told me he could not date someone who did not even know the name of the country's current vice president.
That's rough.
So, from this man's perspective, intelligence, he finds intelligence sexy. What do you say? Do your woman
I
have to be
guess. I
sexy,
I
intelligent? Does that make her
I guess. You know what? The truth of the matter is, um, when you're talking about sexiness, in my mind, you're talking about attractiveness, desire, right?
okay?
And I guess there's some guys who are attracted to the intelligence level of a woman.
Okay.
I don't know any of them.
Okay.
I don't,
So
but
from your perspective, men mostly when we think of sexy, it's always physical.
yeah, well, it's mostly physical, but it's not just in my opinion, the sexiest thing a woman can have is confidence,
Okay.
right? So it
Write
doesn't
that
really
down,
matter.
ladies. Confidence. Confidence is
Listen, and please believe, please, I don't care what nobody tells you. The sexiest thing a woman could ever have on her is confidence. It don't matter how you look, really. If you're confident, it's something about a woman who's confident about who she is. Even if she could be built like a boy, it don't matter. If she's confident,
SpongeBob even. Right.
yeah, if she's confident, a dude to be like, man, dang, let me see what she got going on, because she carries herself in a way. She's not desperate. She's not thirsty for compliments. She's not thirsty for attention. She knows who she is, and
Right.
and she can talk to you, have a conversation with you, and then go on somewhere else. She's not begging you to look at her or love that. That is A1, the most attractive, the sexiest thing that a woman can ever have. Now, as far as intelligence, there's different kinds of intelligence, right?
Uh-huh.
There's people who are emotionally intelligent, but they just
That
aren't really
that matters.
interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Emotional
matters so
intelligence.
much
Yeah.
because as a guy, a lot of us are real stoic. I consider myself probably a kind of a stoic guy. I am sensitive, but I'm not emotional, right?
Okay.
Um, and there's been many times in my life where my emotional intelligence was boo boo,
Uh-huh.
and I needed somebody who was more emotionally intelligent than me to help me navigate through some things.
Uh-huh.
And so that matters. Emotional intelligence matters sometimes, depending on the person, more than like book smarts or anything like that. So
Oh
it
yeah.
it, it depends. It can be a turnoff if somebody is just like aloof and they don't have any knowledge of anything.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
for those
but
who don't know, emotional intelligence is your ability to not allow your emotions to take over you and run you
yeah,
every which your way. A lot of people don't have emotional
a
intelligence.
lot, a
A lot.
lot. And men are slower when it comes to our knowledge base of emotional intelligence. We kind of it's not valuable to us. We
Mhm.
we kind of aren't taught to value emotional intelligence. So we need somebody sometimes to bring that along for us.
Yeah. That's big to admit.
Yeah,
Because we're women are often looked at as the emotional creatures.
yeah,
Um, but we don't often understand that even if you have a lack of emotions,
hmm
that too is often a lack of emotional intelligence. If you are unable to, it's not necessarily just you pop off at the pop off at the drop of a dime. It's just the inability to really um, utilize your emotions in a healthy way, I guess just to say. So even if you can't
Yeah,
use your
there's
emotions,
guys who are guys are emotional. We are emotional, but sometimes we lack the ability to express them, or we've been taught not to express
not to
our
express them.
emotions. And I'd say this all the time: an emotional man is a dangerous man.
Okay.
Not that we're not supposed to have emotions. We have emotions, but an emotional man is a dangerous man.
Yeah.
Somebody who's led by their emotions. The problem is we are bigger and stronger than you are. God made us that way. I tell
Yeah.
my daughters all the time
Intentionally.
that, yeah, I tell my daughters that God made men and boys stronger than you all to protect you all. That's our
Mhm.
role. That's why he made us bigger and stronger. Not to dominate, but
Right.
to protect. But an emotionally unstable or an emotional man may blur those lines when it comes to why him being bigger and stronger, and he might dominate a woman because he's angry at her. Now that's being emotional. That's not being able to control your emotions. I can be as mad and pissed at a woman as I could ever get, and it'll never cross my mind to put my hands on her.
Right.
That's just not in my brain.
Yeah.
And
And it's not
I,
your nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not anything that I've seen. It's not anything that I'm comfortable with. And um, due to how I was raised, it's something that if I see, I have to interject. Like
Yeah.
I have to put an end to it. Um, but my emotional intelligence, I would still consider my emotional intelligence when I was younger, it was very, very low. I mean, there would be stuff that if I went back and told stories, you'd be like, bruh. I'm like, I know,
Like, that ain't
I
even,
just
that don't
just
even
stupid.
sound
Yeah,
like you, bro.
just man, look, I've come a
We
long
all
way,
have. Yep.
and it's all about, you know, when it's all about learning yourself and learning who you are,
Yeah.
and learning what you're supposed to contribute.
Yeah.
And when you learn those things and you learn that your interactions with women don't have to be transactional. A woman can be fine, and y'all just have nothing but a conversation and be
Right.
cool. And
Yeah.
then you go your way and they go their way. It doesn't have to evolve into anything, or or you can have a conversation and completely disagree with somebody and still be respectful and still
That's
respect
right.
them. Those emotional intelligence in that way. So like emotional intelligence, I think sometimes is more important than you know book smarts. So it depends on the guy.
Okay.
Every guy is not sitting there checking to see how intelligent a woman is.
Okay.
But but you don't
So
want her to be dumb though. You don't
right.
want to take her around the fellas and they be like, dude, like,
When you take around the fellas, you want them to be like, I see you. I see you.
yeah, exactly. You don't want to like usher her in and usher her out the room and she can't talk to nobody because they're gonna find out she's stupid. You know
She
what I
like
mean?
a
So
box of rocks.
yeah,
Listen,
no,
one
no.
of our other brothers is checking in. DK, I'm gonna bring him into the conversation. What is up? You didn't got stationary, bro.
Man, woo! That was a job trying to get logged in. It wasn't,
Look, I was struggling with it too.
it wasn't your
Yeah.
fault. I'm not at home, but I'm in a place where I can get you some good internet.
Oh,
Good.
that's
What's going on, bro?
How you doing?
Chilling.
well.
Good,
Thank
good.
you for checking in with us, DK. So you can add to this conversation. And we're having some chat. We're having some talk about what men find sexy. So listen, I always ask this question. So I didn't start with you men. I started with my husband and I asked him. I wanted to know, and he started out just like you, Mark. He was like, well, typically when men think about sexy, they don't think about intelligence, blah, 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 blah. He started talking about what he found appealing, what he found sexy. For him is dress, the way a woman, dresses, the way she puts it all together, because he likes to dress, so he likes a woman that likes to dress. And then only then, after certain physical characteristics, did he begin to talk about character and nature and things like that. So we are talking about, DK, we're talking about 17 things that men find sexy. So next one, we talked about calmness, we talked about intelligence. The other thing that this article, or this guy's perspective, is loyalty. He finds loyalty sexy. He says, when a man meets a woman, he looks at the way she acts and respects the people she loves. If she speaks poorly about her friends or tells them she is sick so she can spend time with her boyfriend instead of going out with them, he may not believe she is a good match for him. I don't know. Anyway, from your perspective as Black men, what do you say about loyalty? Do you find loyalty from women sexy, attractive? What do you think?
For me, yeah, loyalty is very high on the list. That is like top 3, top 5 at the least is top 5.
Do you find it sexy, or is a desirable characteristic?
A little bit of both. It's a desirable characteristic, but it can be sexy mixed in with everything else. Meaning her character, her attitude, just the way she carries herself in general.
So the way that I translate this in my hood mind, when I hear loyalty, I'm like, y'all just want to ride or die, bitch. That's what y'all want.
Well, listen, I'll say this. I don't know about sexy. It's very attractive. It's appealing for a woman, for loyalty to be a trait of hers. But again, I in my mind, when I think of sexiness, I'm thinking of what is making me want to get at you. What's making me want to clap cheeks? That's what I'm thinking, right? And
so
I'm never. And guys are visual creatures, so that's why I like when your husband was saying a woman who dresses how she puts herself together. Yeah, that's visually stimulating. But I'm not looking at a chick and thinking, man, I bet she loyal than mud. That's never that's never the thought. You know what I mean?
So let me ask it this way then. Okay, so you guys have both been married or are married. And so you have a good sense of what you found attractive in your wives, or women, or what have you. Over time, do these things translate to you to sexy? Like, it made you desire your women more because they had these traits, or these traits were things that you found appealing? XYZ.
For me,
maybe a better way to phrase it. So it may not have been the thing that captured in the beginning, because y'all are visible creatures.
Yeah, for me, over time, it played a part and continues that loyalty, because it can show up in different ways. But I mean, it's a base, of being loyal, but it can show up like loyal to I guess I would say certain behaviors, and it's hard to express it in words, but the more the loyalty comes out, that increases the attraction. And so I know loyalty looks different ways, but the more she shows it and is that behavior, then that continues to become more attractive over time, which not initially but eventually moves over towards the sexy
part.
side of it. Yeah.
Yeah. What was you
Yeah.
gonna say, Mark?
No, I agree. So how men's minds operate is first we're attracted, and that's a visual thing, right? And then once we get to know you, that's where traits like that matter. Like you might want to get with a girl because she's pretty, she's got a nice body or something like that. But when you all talk and she um and you find out that she's also the loyal type of person, like the homies can't smash. She's not going,
Right.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
You don't have to worry about I can't let so and so come over to the crib because she gonna, try and get the attention of all the men in the room. Or
Right.
if simplify it, if I lose my job or something like that, she treats me the exact same way when
Yeah.
I'm on my behind that
Yeah.
she did when I was killing it out there.
That's
Right.
That
right.
she gonna get the bamboo behind that. You know what I'm saying? She gonna
Yeah.
she gonna get toe up if she doing some stuff like that, because that's because men value when a woman values our strength, values our us as a person. And if
When they
she if
respect you.
yeah, if
Yeah.
she looks at us as more than just either you're taking care of me or you're useless, if she actually values your personhood, then that takes it into the sexy level. That's babies are made behind stuff like like that. You know what I mean? Because
Because she's
Yeah.
you
showing
want
her
somebody.
loyalty. She shows she down. And
Yeah, you will run through a brick wall for a woman like that.
Yeah.
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 Now, see, okay, so I gotta play devil's advocate because again, I have sat on panels, I have observed conversations, and there are there are men who are disfranchised with today's women. Okay,
Mhm.
y'all know, like I know, it's no secret to y'all that a lot of black women are doing their thing. They're single, they're business owners, they're making money. We got degrees, we got this, other that.
Mhm.
And that's all good. I know that's not what makes us successful in marriage. Is not what makes us successful. Those things don't make us successful in relationships.
Mhm.
But a lot of men feel as if that loyalty is not present from a lot of modern women
Mhm.
today. Is that something that you see, that you observe? That's just what I often hear men say, that loyalty is, you don't get that same type of loyalty from women that you once did 20, 30 years ago, because women are doing their thing these days. Is that something that you see or that you observed, I guess I should say?
I'll, I say this as a black man. What you recognize is that there's no other race of women who are taught that their men are useless than
Okay.
us, right?
Okay. Yep.
We're the only ones that the music, the most popular music that we play is music saying that the men ain't
Shit.
this, or saying that, if he's not buying you this kind of shoe or buying you this kind of bag, then he broke and he's worthless.
Yep.
There's other, like, white folks are making music, Asian folks are making music, Pacific Islanders are making music. None of them are talking down on their men like that. So loyalty is not something that's really um promoted. The virtues that make a woman a great companion aren't really things that are highlighted. Cardi B said, "I don't cook, I don't clean." Let me tell you how I got that ring.
Right.
You know,
And I
so
will tell the ladies that only work for Cardi B because she got maids and shit and
exactly,
nannies
Right.
exactly. If
and
there's cooking
offsets
and cleaning
money.
being done,
Right.
she just may not do it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
to add to that, like what Mark said, it also goes to the fact of how men are raised,
Mhm.
because it becomes a security issue, or insecure versus secure. Being around a woman who is secure, making her own money, can hold the fort down, it takes a certain kind of man not to feel less, that his position is less, or that he's worthless, you know.
Mhm.
So that plays a huge part in it. When you get, you mix those two people together, a strong woman of that nature, or a man who's been raised generally by parents, or our parents' age, that grew up in the 50s and 60s when the man was the dominant
The
figure
breadwinner.
and women stayed home. But as that evolved, we have to evolve our
That's good.
attitudes and our thinking on the subject. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you said that men have to evolve, because in my observing some of these conversations, I always say that, I think men have to think about, and this could be totally obsolete for us in our generation. We're Generation Xers, or whatever, so we probably consider old school with this at this point. But I often say, particularly for this younger generation, they're going to have to think differently. Men are going to have to think differently about how they date women. But also, because I gotta let women know that those things don't make you successful in a relationship. How much money you make, the degrees that you have, and all that. They don't make you successful in a marriage. They don't make you successful in a relationship. It's good to have those things. You have those things for you, but when it comes to your marriage, it's not going to make or break the marriage. It'll add to, it could add to your generational wealth and things of that nature. But what makes the marriage won't depend upon whether or not you have a degree, or you have this, or you have that.
right.
So I also think, as much as men have to evolve, and maybe it's just because I have traditionalism in me, I also think that women can still have some of those soft characteristics, and still allow men to be who they are, men. And you got to study men. You got to know men to know what they need, to understand how their makeup, to understand that you can have the business, the money, be the boss bitch and all that, but still allow that man to be the head of the relationship, the head of the household, whatever. But that's the traditional side of me that says that.
Yeah, I think we got a whole generation of younger people who feel like they need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to relationships. Kind of like
Yeah.
they don't mind.
Yeah.
They don't mind. The women will sit or will get out and pump gas while the dude's sitting in the passenger seat scrolling on TikTok or something like that.
Different.
It's
It's way
the
different.
dude. Yeah, the women will call their boyfriends bruh and stuff like that. Like you
It's
can't bruh me, and we
No.
in a and you can't bruh me. That's not gonna
yeah.
work. I mean, but it's completely different, and but I don't see the benefits. Like sometimes it's good for change to happen, and there's
Right.
things that did need to modify because a previous generation was not used to women having an equal voice and being empowered to do things on their own without our approval. Before that, women couldn't even get, like my grandmother and them could even get houses or anything like that
Yeah.
without a man.
Yeah.
So there were plenty of people who stayed in relationships not because they loved that dude, but because they couldn't have anything without him.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now, you can have your own, you can make your own. You can, in fact, some would say that the path is kind of laid open for you all to achieve and overachieve compared to your counterparts, and there's various reasons for that.
It was
But
design. It's by some
it's
design.
by design. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's by design. But with that being said, the other part that they're sliding underneath is, unhealthy, unhappy relationships and marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Not promoting the things that will help somebody to be good in their marriage, like communicating well or
Yeah.
empathizing with the other person. Those traits, those used to be in all of our R&B songs back in the day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's why people go back and listen to our stuff,
Yeah.
because
That's why
the
the
stuff
90s
they,
are hot right now.
yeah, because the
Yeah.
stuff that they play now don't talk about none of that, and they
Yeah.
can't get how do I love somebody. They don't get that from R&B now and from hip hop now. We used to have, a lot of different types of music. We had the thug music that talked about killing and robbing, and then we had conscious rap, and then we
Yeah.
had R&B that was crying and whining and begging, and then we had
Ooh,
R&B
yeah.
that was
We had
talking
jokes.
about what we was gonna do to you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
We had,
Mhm.
but it was a mixture of all of it,
Yeah.
and now this it's none of
It's
that.
all
So
hardcore.
Yeah.
yeah,
All drug addict music. That's what I
Yeah.
everybody killing each other. I'm like,
everybody killing each other.
everybody killing?
And it's
The
coming
women
out in
killing?
real life. You
Yeah,
know, these little young rappers,
Yeah.
they ain't even had one album out fully, and they getting murdered on the block.
got murder charges, and yeah,
Right.
but being taught
We
how
sound like old
the
people, don't we?
we do. We sound real old, right? This is a very old conversation.
This is an old ass Generation X conversation, right?
but the truth of the matter is, when we was young, we thought certain stuff was cool until we got older and we
Yeah.
realized it wasn't.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they're kind of in that phase right now too, where they thinking this stuff is cool, and then they get older and all of that, that hardcore stuff that they've been raised on isn't helping them to be happy in a relationship. They in these volatile, toxic relationship, and,
Yeah.
and they don't know how and don't know why and don't even think that they could have a better type relationship than that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or they're being raised by the internet. So the
Yeah,
reason why we see so many of these, and I hate to go there, but people, quote unquote relationship experts, the Kevin Samuelites and all them,
hmm,
we have a generation of young folks who don't have fathers or didn't have fathers in the home.
yeah,
And it's a little bit different from our era where we may have had, fathers that wasn't in home, drug addicted fathers, went off to the war, whatever the case may be.
mhm,
But they're being raised by social media. And so they're
yeah,
seeing the very extreme versions of what manhood is, or very extreme versions of what womanhood is and how women think. And it's just a different generation, I think.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then also the fact of they try to they excuse a lot of stuff by Googling. Now, granted,
mhm.
we had Encyclopedia Brown and sources
Britannica.
like that.
Yeah,
Britannica,
we had to
yeah,
go look
yeah,
them.
Yeah,
yeah. Yes, I'm aging myself. I don't mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
But they will use Google, and then they'll go off in these rabbit holes, and
yeah,
they'll lose their concentration as to what they initially were trying to Google, and go off in these rabbit holes, and it'll be something totally different that will
Yeah.
yeah,
catch their attention and take them way right or way left of what they're trying to find information on.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's definitely a different generation. I think taking it back to our topic, I think things have changed. And you know, some would say that it's up to us. We are now the seasoned generation. It's up to us to
we the old heads now.
impart. Yeah, we old heads now. It's up to us to
Yeah,
impart that wisdom. But it's also up to us to understand them. So I take a lot of time, I take a lot of energy trying to understand the younger generation. I have a daughter in love who's getting ready to be 21, so I listen to her and her friends and how they feel and what shapes them. And a lot of what shapes them and their thoughts about relationship and all that, it really has to do with the cultural and political, just how they were raised from that perspective.
yeah. I think. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Dan.
No, I was just say a lot of them, because I got a young cat that works with me. He's 26, and he's he's busy. I'll put it like that. He's busy, and he understands more than he is I guess his age range or his generation, but at the same time, he doesn't listen. You know, you can tell him a lot of stuff, but he doesn't listen, and that's where I think a lot of them get caught up or get in trouble is because they don't listen to comprehend the information that some of us try to pass down to them. You know, they look at us as like, you know, well, yeah, he old head OG, but you know, is he really, you know what I'm going through or know, you know, what I've been through? Until it happens.
Disconnect.
I think the problem with youth, there's a saying that says that youth is wasted on the young, right? And the problem is when you're young, it's kind of like you're looking down at your feet, and you're walking straight, and you're only looking down at your feet, and you not looking a step before you or a step behind you. You only focused on your feet and where your feet are landed. And as you get older, you learn to kind of pick your head up and see a little bit further down the road than you saw before. But until you get to that age, and it's usually around 25 where we start picking our head up and saying, hey, I can dodge this if I make this move over here, and then I won't have to deal with that. Before, we dealing with everything as it comes because we're so inundated with information that we're only focused on the right now. I remember being young and panicking if like I had to wait another week in order to get something that I wanted to get. Like I wanted it right now, and I felt like it was gonna be gone if I don't get it in another week. And I think what we have is that they don't have is foresight. And it's our job to give that to them and let them know. One, Kirk Franklin put it like this, that we need to show them our scars and not just tell them what to do, right?
That's true.
We have to let them know, no, I messed up by doing this. So let me tell you why you shouldn't do this, because this is what happened. Yeah, this is what happened with me when I did it. Not just, you know, dig into them if they do something that we don't think that they should do, because they don't have the reason why they shouldn't do it.
And they're definitely a generation that wants to know why, because they're an information generation, right? Alicia says the internet has desensitized people to the quality of relationships.
Possibly. I think it's more media that's done that. I think that, because we're heavily influenced by media. And I remember we would listen to Luther Vandross.
Social media is part of that too, though.
Well, social media is like a echo chamber of bad thoughts. That's all it is. It's just it's your worst thoughts. It's like, I'm very sarcastic, but I don't want to hear my sarcasm 24/7. Like sometimes I get tired of me, you know, and I got to back it down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, okay, let me calm down. Well, social media is that on 10. I think that media does more desensitizing than social media, because like songs and movies and stuff like that where nobody's talking about like love. We would listen to like Luther Vandross and Anita Baker, and it was not a crazy thing to talk about loving somebody. We would even get to, you know, Taboo, R. Kelly. We would get to
he gave us like good
Joe.
Music at the end of the day. He liked little girls,
we would get to R. Kelly and Joe, and we get to all these other dudes that are singing, begging, Boys to Men, begging a woman. Now I can't think of a song where a dude is like begging a woman to take him back because he did something wrong.
Kind of music,
like we don't do that. We do some dumb stuff, you know. And then Anita Baker, she even wrote I apologize. Where are you gonna hear that at? When's the last time?
When's the last time
you had a woman say I apologize? You know what I'm saying? Not in no song. They gonna write it down.
Apologize.
No.
Recently.
I don't believe
they might say, "Well, I apologize for you misunderstanding what I said." That might be what you get.
You might get cussed out by Meg Thee Stallion. That'd be it.
Yeah,
be a
Meg.
Yeah.
that'd be
Listen,
a
I
close
like
to
Meg the
apology.
Stallion.
Well,
I
I like
like
Meg
her.
too, but
It's catchy.
that'll be as
But
close to an
I
apology
do,
you get as that cursing out she give you.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I do
that's
think
it.
the music, everything has definitely it has made us so hardcore when it comes to love and relationships. Like this generation is so hardcore, and it's
Yeah.
like it's not like that. Like,
No,
listen,
they find out though because
listen.
quoting all
I
those
tell her
song lyrics
you could
sounds
be
real good when you single, but when
right.
you
Right.
trying to be loved by somebody, them
Listen,
song lyrics ain't gonna help you.
No.
listen. Women can be you. I tell ladies, you can be all hardcore all you want, but when you get into that relationship and that man's treating you right.
You know what I mean? Dudes
Listen,
too. Look, you
you're
can
gonna be
pretend like
sauce and jelly and everything else because you're being loved the right way. So he's gonna
same
bring
thing with
out that
guys.
feminine side of you.
Same thing with guys. You can only be hardcore for so long, man. You can only be a thug for so long until you have a woman that's gonna cook for you, that's gonna love on you, that's gonna speak into you and encourage you.
That's gonna
And you
pray for
all
you.
them tears
Yeah,
you've been blocked up for years. You start ugly crying and stuff
Man.
like that because she really believe in you.
Yeah.
yeah,
Man, come on,
yeah. It's a blessing. That's a
Yeah.
blessing. Okay, so back to the 17 things that men find sexy. So
Mhm.
we said loyalty, we said intelligence, we said calmness. This also mentions friendliness. So a woman that treats everyone with respect and kindness. He says nothing is more seductive than humility and the ability to treat everyone with the same level of respect. So women who they're kind, they're friendly, they got a good attitude, they ain't getting rude with everybody. What do y'all think?
This dude capping. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? He owns some BS, man. He had to
Harmony
feel some.
News.
He had to fill some space, and they gave him an assignment, and he wrote down a bunch of junk.
Right, he
Dudes don't
capping.
find this sexy. Like this is not sexy. You can't redefine the word.
Okay,
That
is
it
it
has a
good for
definition.
women to have that good attitude
It's
though?
great for them to have that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make a dude want to take you down, though. It's
No.
not.
No.
No, dude ain't gonna be sitting there, daydreaming about how kind you are. That's not.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So okay, so let's just cut this out because I'm gonna just go down the rest of this list and then I'm gonna just let y'all tell me what it is. Okay,
Mhm.
so he says loyalty, he says friendliness, he says being genuine, he says being mature, optimism. This is funny, punctuality. Um, the, he says the ability to let go. So not always looking for the fight and going back and forth.
Mhm.
Being respectful, compassionate, loving, and romantic. So those are all the things that's the 17 things that he says that he finds attractive and sexy about women. But from y'all perspective, as black men who I guess we would consider ourselves middle aged now, as black men who either
Gotta
are
accept it.
married or
Mhm.
been married,
Mhm.
um, what do y'all find sexy? I know what my husband said. My husband said when she dressed a certain way, is she well put together, her shoes, because my husband is into dress. He likes to dress. But what do
Yeah,
y'all
he is a dresser. I'll say the only thing on that list that I heard that sounded remotely sexy is I think it said romantic. I think that was one of the last ones it said on there.
Uh-huh.
Um, that can be sexy. But the truth of the matter is, we're talking like a woman who has softness. That's
Soft.
sexy to me. And
Mhm.
softness meaning she's not trying to match my testosterone. You know, um, she um, she displays that soft side of herself and allows me to be her protector. Allows me to be the guy who's gonna go to war for her. She doesn't have to. She doesn't do the I can do it myself type mindset.
Okay.
Um,
Ladies, y'all
yeah.
listening? Okay.
The confidence again. I'll bring it back to that, because even the way that you dress kind of is an indicator of a level of confidence. Because if you big up top, but you always wearing turtlenecks, then that tells me that okay, you're scared somebody's gonna look at. Well, I have big boobs, and I don't want him to look at my boobs or something like we ain't gonna be able to tell. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
so,
Right.
but if you confident in yourself, it's
Mhm.
like I'm gonna put this on because it makes me feel good about me. And yeah, dude's gonna be looking, but hey, this is what God blessed me with. Or
Mhm.
if your shape, if you want to highlight that, or your legs, or if you got good toes, or whatever, your mindset of I don't have to fish for compliments because I'm confident about myself. That is extremely attractive because it also affects the way that you talk to me. Because
Right.
we will get into a conversation and we could be flirting back and forth, and you're not like scared or timid or anything like that. That is a turn on.
Okay,
Mhm.
So
so when we check your rhythm and we give it back, listen, ladies,
yeah,
listen, especially my single ladies out there, if y'all listen, checking in, he telling
yeah,
y'all, he giving y'all the game. Okay,
oh yeah, definitely. The confidence that you give, and not like overconfidence, because
Right.
nobody wants to be with somebody that's arrogant.
arrogant, not
But
Yeah.
arrogant, confident,
yeah,
not arrogant.
Right.
yeah, but
Right,
confidence. You know who you are. You don't fish for compliments. Um,
you're not
Also,
thirsty. You ain't no
not
thirst
thirsty,
bucket.
Mhm.
Bucket.
but you have a standard that you demand of men. Like I can't talk to you any kind of way. If I can come to you and be like, "Hey, big booty, come here, let me holler at you real quick," I'm not gonna respect you.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And you come? No,
yeah.
I don't have to respect you. You just showed me that I don't have to. So
Right.
if you have a standard that I have to meet
Yeah.
in order to even have a communicate, that man, listen, dudes love when a woman plays hard to get, not impossible to get, but hard to get.
Hard to get.
Because that shows a
Mhm.
level of confidence that she has about herself, that she has standards that you have to meet in order to get with her.
Mhm.
And it's not false ones. She's not playing the role. She's like, no, I'm not gonna date anybody who lives like this or who does this.
Yeah.
So if you're doing this, you might as well not even approach.
Right.
That's extremely sexy to me.
So I hear you say confidence, having a standard,
Hmm.
um, being hard to get but not impossible to get. What do you say, DK? What do you think makes a woman sexy? Especially as we talk about, because I want to hear it also from women at our age, you know, in our age group.
That everything that Mark said definitely is more attractive than sexy.
Okay.
Um, and although some of those traits that you mentioned, I'm trying to think back to them. One that sticks out is that plays a part is optimism. Uh,
Optimism. That was
that's
one of
that's heavy in like communication versus being pessimistic. Because it lends to communication being extended. Because if you have a pessimistic mindset or attitude about something, you will always think that it's negative or that it will end up in a negative, way. And
mm-hmm.
excuse me, that plays a part in continuing to be attractive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and like he said, not playing hard to get, but not being impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Because women, after you get a certain age, you recognize, some of the lines or the approaches that men use,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and
Well,
you
we
don't
should.
have right, and you don't have to call the guy out in public about it or make a scene if it's something corny or whatever like that. You can just either accept it or not accept it, but when you get a chance, just let that brother know or let that person know, hey, you know that line really didn't work or doesn't work, but when you're calling people out, to me, when you get older, that is petty,
Mm-hmm.
just to show out in front of your girls or in front of somebody else. um But
so that's not attractive to you, not sexy
no,
to you.
no, not that. That definitely is not. No,
That goes back to that drama, not me
right,
not
right,
liking women with a lot of that always got drama.
Yep.
right,
Yeah.
right. And something like he said, other stuff, being romantic, and just some of the language that you can use in a conversation that can tilt it either way. Because, like he said, a lot of times we're sarcastic in our comments or just in our language. Period. A woman who can recognize that and, in essence, go toe to toe, but not, get to the part where you're insulting, each other, or get to the part where you gotta one up the person.
Oh, I
Just
hear that a lot. My husband was like, no one up. We don't one up.
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
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 The tit for tat or the one up. No, that
Yeah.
um, again, being attractive in that sense is when you recognize it and without announcing it, you can play along or get in the ring, go toe to toe with the person in a relationship, but you all still respect each other's space
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
You got to
and
be able to
respect each other
respect
as a person. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what advice would you two brothers give women
Mhm.
today from from your perspective as a seasoned men who have experiences, either married or have been married at some point?
Mhm.
What advice from a man's perspective would you give a woman on what she would need to do to tap into her sexy side?
For me, it's big on listening to understand, not listening to speak, listening to understand what the man is saying. And even if you have to break it down and have it repeated so it's fully understood, what what a man is saying, um and the compassion, all that comes into the play of compassionate, being optimistic, being romantic, all that starts to get rolled up in that, with your behavior and your language,
Mm-hmm.
just in general, how you deal with it, with the person.
So if I hear you correctly, DK, I'm observing the way that you respond versus Mark responds. There's a little bit of a difference in that you seem to be more into some of these what we would probably consider not necessarily physical attributes of a woman that you feel makes a woman sexy.
Right.
Versus Mark, a little bit different, which just means that men have this is a varied response for some men. Men are different. They think about things different. They view women in different ways. But what advice would you give, Mark, from your perspective, on how a woman could tap into her sexy side?
I'd say that if you're wanting to tap into your sexy side, you have to tap into your confidence, number one, um,
Confidence.
because
Confidence is key.
confidence is key. I know I sound like a broken record, but it really is. No dude wants a mealy mouth chick that lives off every word that he says. DK was right on it when he said, like, if you are having a conversation with a woman and y'all are going back and forth like tit for tat in a conversation, and she can roll with your sarcasm, that is extremely sexy. That underestimated. I don't even know how I missed that. Very sexy. we
She's not
because
overly sensitive all the time.
Yeah, she's
Right.
not
Right.
saying, man, I can't tell you how many times, like, I've been friends with a woman, and when we were friends we were joking and jiving on one another, and then once we got into a relationship I say the same thing and now her feelings hurt. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, nobody, that kills the mood, you know what I mean? But
We do
um
get a little softer when we're in a relationship.
yeah, I mean, but you got to understand that, like, the thing that attracted us to you is the thing that you're supposed to keep up. You know what I mean? So when it comes to if you have a great sense of humor, and that's and usually in our minds, if a woman is very attractive, we're not looking for her to have a great sense of humor. But if
Really?
she's very attractive, yeah, because they haven't had to lean on that, on sense of
They've
humor and
leaned on their
personality.
attractiveness.
Yeah, women you lean on your strength. It's like, it's like me as a guy being tall. I can reach stuff on the top shelf. I'm not really bending at the knee as much as somebody shorter than me, because everything's going to be right where I can get it. So
Mhm.
we kind of go to our strengths. So when you find a woman and you all are having a conversation, and she not only can keep up with the conversation, but you can laugh and joke, and she can laugh and joke with you, man. Look, slide
That
your number this way. That's what happened. you
she
know.
gonna
Yeah.
grab your attention. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to see you.
Yeah.
But
And she could be your home girl. So
yeah,
I
I
hear a
mean,
lot of,
definitely.
from
But
my husband, the fact that we can do stuff like watch football together and kick it, and
makes life better, man. It
Ooh,
makes life
me.
it
Yeah.
makes life so much better.
yeah.
But guys definitely find confidence attractive. So tap into your confidence. Do what you need to do in order to feel better about yourself. Don't base that on a man.
That's
We do
right.
not need to be the center of your universe.
Yes.
Be Get yourself in shape, not so that you can attract us. Get yourself in shape so you won't be wheezing when you walk up the stairs. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself in
So your
shape.
blood pressure won't be high.
Yeah.
Right.
So you won't be on the pills and somebody got to push you in the wheelchair.
Right.
Get in shape because of that. Because once you're
Get in
doing
shape
that,
so your libido can stay up. Yeah.
exactly. For the fellas too,
Oh yeah.
get yourself in shape for you. I always tell people that the way that you're supposed to live your life is you're supposed to go on your path, and while you're walking on your path, the people that happen to be walking on the same path where you don't have to stop your motion and you
Yeah.
can continue on your path with them, those are the people that you're supposed to connect with. The people
That's
that make you stop and turn back, and while they stopped in their path, are they going in a different, those are the ones that slowing your motion. So
That's right.
you want to, as a woman, you want to explore things about yourself. You need to explore your own sexiness, the things that you enjoy, whatever it is, whether it's um, outfits that you wear, all the way onto pleasuring yourself. Explore those things about yourself before you get with us, because when you get with us and you haven't explored none of that stuff, you make us responsible for all of it,
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
and that's not
That's
sexy.
true. Now
Mm-hmm.
listen, this is the last concept, because I said I was just gonna throw some random stuff out there too. So because I observe a lot of podcasts, younger generation, I'm not calling you brothers this at all, because you guys both know I respect you guys in the utmost.
Oh yeah.
But there is this new modern term. So for me, the term that these modern women, younger women would probably give me, they would call me a pick me. Okay.
Yes,
For
definitely.
men, they would probably call y'all simp. So y'all hear that
Mm-hmm.
tossed around. So women who typically are traditional women who
Mm-hmm.
show forth a lot of respect towards men, and who just bring a more traditional mindset. Often they're thought of as pick me's.
Yes.
If you're just saying pick me, I can
Mm-hmm.
remember, y'all remember these debates. I can
Mm-hmm.
remember some real talk debates when people tried to hand me my ass just because I said fix your man plates. I fix my man plate. Like what?
Oh yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
what? Like
Here, here,
I didn't think that was an abnormal thing until I started having debates with other women who was like, fix a man's plate. He can fix his own plate. And I'm like,
yeah.
okay,
How
well,
many
I
how
was taught
many
a
of
little
them
bit
are in?
differently.
How many of them are married now is the question. That's what you go to.
Right.
Those terms and stuff, pick me's and simps and stuff like that. The alpha male for all the Kevin Samuel fans out there, the
Yeah.
acolytes. The truth is, all that stuff is flash in the pan, right?
Yeah.
Because it sounds good when you're using it at a point in time in your life where you're single and you're not really trying to settle down, not trying to be committed with somebody and live your life out with somebody. But once you get older and you just tired of being bitter and you just tired of being by yourself and not having anybody to talk to. Heck, when you start looking at having health problems and ain't nobody around to check for signs of
Come on
stroke
now.
concerning you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That
Then
part.
all that stuff sounds stupid.
It
All that
sounds
stuff,
stupid
you
to
willing
say
to
that.
compromise on all that. You willing to fix a plate here and there after all of that because all of those people who are against those type things, eh, who are calling dudes simps, who are gentlemen and stuff like that, and calling women who are ladies and who actually don't hate men, calling them pygmies, are people who want to be continuously single, and then they change, and then they don't acknowledge all of the venom that they put out
Yeah.
before. Everybody's going to change afterward. If you were able uh, to take somebody's tweets and Facebook posts and stuff from the time that they were single and younger, and then match it 10 years later when they're actually looking to be in a relationship, it's going to be different
It's gonna be
Mhm.
different.
because all of those standards that they had, are they not going to do this and they not going to do that? All of that stuff is going to go by the wayside once they get lonely.
Yeah.
And that's what the part that they don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes both ways. I mean, I think sometimes we're hardcore when it comes to relationships and things of that nature, but once you find somebody who softens you, a lot of the BS that we debate over, the back and forth that we're constantly at each other about, submissiveness and who's supposed, like, all that shit really goes out the window when you
It
really
does.
get into a relationship and you get with somebody who compliments you and y'all riding for each other and they got your back and you got their back. A lot of that stuff becomes a non-issue.
Non-issue, and
It becomes
also
a non-issue. For me,
non-issue.
it's
'Cause
something for me and my husband are just non-issues. In,
I
in,
say
in
I
our
say that a lot, that they become non-issues, and then a lot of women don't recognize the power they possess within a relationship, with
Mhm.
their husbands or with their mates.
Mhm.
Because if you are the better cooker, in a relationship, knowing how to prepare meals for your husband if he's out working, and comes home. Yeah, you can have your cheat nights or nights where you all indulge, but recognize, that how you cook will help, the health and help sustain, certain energy within the marriage and or within the relationship. Meaning putting vegetables on that man's plate, because a lot of guys,
But
we're
see, all
not.
he eating is carbs.
Right, yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of guys are not gonna be vegetable first and then I will be the first to admit, me
Meat
and
and
bread
potatoes.
in a,
That's
in
it.
me and bread in a complicated relationship.
Yeah.
Uh, don't look like either one of us leaving no time soon.
Right.
But
Yeah.
We're still
um,
together.
right,
Yeah.
right. But recognizing that, and not being afraid to say to the man, hey, have you had your checkup lately? Have you been to the doctor lately? And not just waiting on him to recognize it, because a lot of guys are scared to death to admit to going to the doctor or even going to
Yeah.
the doctor, because they don't want to hear the news.
Yeah.
But knowing how to navigate, your way through that within a relationship or within a marriage, and not announcing it again, or not highlighting it, but just being observant enough to say, okay, I'm gonna do this,
Mhm.
and it becomes the little things, as far as down to, if you're washing clothes, wash your clothes, or anything like that, just do little stuff like that the man will recognize, and then that will give him more gas to continue on and being who he is and protecting for you, within a relationship.
So we gotta wash our drawers. All of us gonna be
No.
wondering if we
Scrub,
don't all want to be in there washing your damn
scrub,
drawers. Because
scrub the middle
I
part.
mean,
You gotta
I work 9 to 5.
put on,
I don't want to wash your drawers.
get out there in the creek and wash them drawers out. No, now you know
put
what?
your load in yourself, brother. No.
We used to have all those debates on Real Talk about like fixing plates and stuff like that. And you know what I always saw?
We've had so many debates.
And there was a whole bunch of times where I was just saying the opposite, just to be saying something, you know what I mean? But something that I never saw, people that I never saw taking those conversations seriously at all were the married couples that had been married for a while, because they don't care like who's washing whose clothes and who's making who's. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? And that's because how can you'd have to be like a weird person to spend so much energy in your marriage trying to prevent yourself from doing more than the other person. You know what I mean? Like trying to work hard to underdo the other person. Like
because
that's
I've always
weird.
learned is when you marry, you're supposed to serve one another.
Yeah.
So, and you're supposed to partner with each other. So I'm thankful that when I have to work downtown Chicago and I have to commute and do my thing, and my husband is off, I'll come home and he done grilled,
right?
And he's cooked, and he's not waiting on me to come to the door and cook, or he's helped and washed the dishes and things like that. And I think so many times we go into relationships, sometimes we go into marriage, especially for our generation, I guess I should say, with preconceived notions of the way it should look. And everybody's marriage is different. Everybody's relationship is different. You got to do it you got to work it how y'all work it.
My Aunt Edith and her late husband, we call him Big Daddy. His name is Donnell. She said, I asked her what they had been married for so long, and they had a incredible marriage. And I asked her what was the secret, what was the secret sauce, and she said that we just try to outlove one another.
Yeah, just
and that was so. Yeah, just outlove one another. If you try and love on me, I'm gonna love on you harder. And I was like, man, that's it right there. Like I'm gonna try and outlove you, and see how that works, instead of me trying to hold on to as much of my single life as I possibly can. I'm gonna try and outlove you, and you try and outlove me, and then we just love on one another.
Yeah,
that just ain't cool to me.
And that's what it's all about, loving on each other. Yeah, definitely loving on each other.
Because like you stated, all marriages, or at least most of them, are going through something or have been through something.
Oh, you're gonna go through something.
These ones that have multiple years under their belt, they've been going through it, or going through it at that particular time. And it just comes down to, for me, it comes down to having the patience and understanding to say, we're going to be okay. We're going to be all right. Not that it has to get resolved or anything like that. I have, I guess you would say, and it's a fair advantage to me, but I guess unfair to the popular people is growing up in a 2-parent household. And my parents were married for 50 plus years before my mother passed, but I saw that, every day growing up, I saw that. So a lot of that has transferred into how I view it. And like Mark said, just continuing to love on somebody, however that looks. It doesn't have to be perfect, just however that looks. And as long as love is being achieved, then you always have time to work at it.
There is so devil's advocate. I always play devil's advocate because there is a segment of people who say, yeah, we have parents that have been married 30, 40, 50 years, and we saw that as examples in our home. But some of our mamas weren't happy, or some of our daddies, our mothers were suffering mentally, and they stayed in that marriage because that's what you did at the time. Or some of our daddies, they were married to our mamas 30, 40, 50 years, but they had a whole nother family way on the other side of town. And so were they really the example?
That's true. But here's the truth of the matter is, everybody that was married back there wasn't unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'd like to make it seem like like it was 75% of marriages back there was women who was actually lesbians but had to stay with their husbands because they couldn't buy no house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's some BS.
That's how we
the truth of the matter is, they fought through something. And maybe they had less distractions than we had. And maybe they gave themselves less excuses than we give ourselves, or maybe because they had a different standard back then, maybe sometimes they chose better than what we choose. You know what I mean? But all of those marriages back then wasn't folks that just hated each other and was waiting for each other to die. Most of those marriages back then, and I still see a lot of them going strong to this day. Most of those marriages,
it's a beautiful thing when you see it.
Oh my God,
it's beautiful.
It is, and just to see the kindness that they have for one another, and how they work, like it's almost like a symbiotic relationship. Like one will put a plate down, and the other one just so happens to put some food on it or something. Like they haven't said a word. They just know how to operate with one another. To me, that's an incredible thing to see. And that all of them have gone through something. My grandmother and my grandfather were married for forever until my grandfather passed, and they went through stuff, but they were willing to fight through it because they actually loved one another.
Exactly.
And you definitely gotta love your mate and understand that the love is not going to always be tied to the emotion. Right? Because sometimes we think love, we always think, oh, I'm going to feel these butterflies for you. No, sometimes I'm going to get up in the morning and I ain't going to even like you.
Exactly.
Something that's pissed me off. But at the end of the day, I love you in my actions towards you. I'm invested in this. So my behavior, I'm going to show you that I love you. I may not like you today. Maybe take me a little while to get back or come back around to the point that I like you. Or whatever, because we're going through this rocky moment or what have you, but I'm still gonna love you. I'm gonna still fulfill my job as your wife, as your husband, or fulfill my obligation to this marriage, this relationship. So okay, that wasn't even what we was talking about, was it?
I don't think it was. I think we ventured off the topic a little bit.
So sexy, y'all say confidence. Having confidence. What men find sexy? You say confidence.
Being a lady.
Being a lady. You like a lady. That's another thing. Y'all don't like
not being a woman.
Masculine women. These women that,
not being a woman, being a lady. There's a difference.
Being a lady is attractive. Okay.
Very. Extremely.
Yes.
So y'all don't like cigarette smoking.
Oh, no.
Nah, can't do it, man.
Every time you come around, she, popping off.
Pee standing up. Nah, don't. I can't do it, man. I don't need somebody that's more manly than me. Like there's something about a woman's softness that allows for a man to be more manly. You know what I mean? Like when we know we have people to protect and people to take care of, we can operate more fully in our manhood. She doesn't have to raise her voice. It's kind of like the Beauty and the Beast concept where we might come through stomping and tearing down walls, and all she has to do is say, "Baby, stop," in a real sweet, small voice, and shut us all the way down. You
Right.
know, that comes from love and respect. She ain't like y'all can't fuss us down. Like fussing don't,
They
fussing
don't
and
do it.
nagging don't do it.
They don't do it.
Um,
Nag you to
but
death.
no, it's not going. There's no level of nag that's going to get us to do the thing that you want us to do.
Okay.
So, yeah, just being a lady and carrying yourself like a lady, and a lot of women feel like you lose power that way, but you gain so much power that men are. We're so we're so willing to do for women who are soft to us that
It's
it's
feminine.
insane.
We call it
Yeah.
the art of femininity, and I've
Yes.
talked about that. How
Yeah.
when as women when we tap into our femininity, and sometimes we get it confused. It's not being promiscuous or
Raunchy or yeah.
raunchy or anything like that, or shaking your ass or whatever. That's not femininity, but there
No.
is something when women, show forth their softness, their feminine side, that you know works well. All I'm gonna say that is that.
Y'all get everything you want when that happens.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Everything accomplished that you need to accomplish happens when you tap
yeah,
into that.
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Nope.
It's how we
No.
were made. It's how we were designed. As
Yeah. If you all were meant to, force everything to happen, you all would be bigger and stronger than us.
right.
That's not what you were made to do. You were made to have a softer tone and to be able to, you know, get things done by having that softer tone. I remember there's this passage in the Bible where this guy David went to this lady's house or to this man's house to try and get some aid because he was the king of
Mhm.
Israel and he was trying to get some aid from this man, and the man had a real stank attitude and real rough, and David was about to have his men go ahead and take him up to the upper room,
Uh-huh.
and his wife comes out and meets David and his men there, and she apologizes and she takes care of all the men and does all of that stuff because her husband wouldn't do it, and David spared that man's life. And then when that man croaked, David made that woman his wife.
Mm.
The power of just because the power of her common sense, number one, you ain't gonna talk crazy to the king, but
Right.
on top of that, her femininity and her speaking with her softness and using that instead of the gruff rough nature of her husband got everything done and increased her life sevenfold. So it's there's so much power in it, and women gain so much power when they lean into that more so than being all extra aggressive. It's crazy.
Yeah. And and the flip side of that too, and I have mentioned this. Stephanie said Abigail. That was the Abigail
Yes.
in the Bible. I
Yeah.
have mentioned this even in my own comment. There is something about when a woman is loved in the right way that brings out a soft quality in her.
Mhm.
When she connects herself to the wrong man, or a man that doesn't make her secure in the relationship or in the marriage or what have you, he's going to get a whole nother side of that woman.
Yeah.
Submissive is out the door, or if you connect yourself to the kind of man who feels like he has to dominate
Yeah.
you in such a, you're not going to get that woman. You're going to mold her into something that you don't want. But when you
Yeah.
love a woman in the right way, when a man loves a woman in the right way, the way that she needs to be loved,
Hmm.
it is something that happens to a woman that it brings something out of her. It brings a femininity out of her. It turns her into much more of a woman. And people can say that it's conditional femininity and all that, but there is something that happens to a woman when she's loved in the right way. And it's just important for us to connect ourselves as women. It's important for us to connect ourselves to the right kinds of men. I guess I should say. Yeah.
And men find that very attractive. That type of woman becomes like way more attractive. Like you could. That's why dudes will. There's certain women that dudes will be like, are you married? Like, because they carry themselves in that way
In the middle.
because they seem settled, they seem calm, they seem, you know, confident within themselves. So that's usually things that happen when a woman is in a uh, uh, happy marriage,
Mhm.
marriage, and she kind of gives off this vibe like she's content and she's not really looking for anything, and she becomes like more attractive. Dudes kind of gravitate towards her in that way, but that's because she's being loved right.
That's because you
Mhm.
love right.
Yeah,
Ladies, get you a man that loves you right. Get you a
right.
man that loves you right.
It works.
It works. It works.
Mhm.
Brothers, thank y'all. We went a little bit over. I just got one last question for you. Bears or Packers?
Bears. I ain't even looking at the score. I'm confident that the Bears.
You confident about the
I'm
Bears?
confident
Bears
the
or
Bears.
Packers, DK? Oh, you giving us like the I don't know right now. Give us the
Ah,
score.
He's checking on it.
Give us the
right,
score.
right, right. I'm
What's
peeking. I'm cheating. I'm peeking.
what's the score, DK?
What's the score?
The Packers are up 10-7 in the second quarter.
Oh, okay. We got time.
We got time.
We got time.
We got a whole quarter. We got a whole
We
quarter.
got yeah. We got 3 more. We good.
Honestly, I'm not even really. Y'all will be surprised. You're gonna be surprised about this, Mark.
Who's that?
You gonna take away my G card.
I
That's what I
might.
say.
I'm
You about to
I
take
got my
away
hands
my
on it
G
right
card.
now. My hands is on it right now. Who's your team?
I'm not a Packers fan, but I'm not an overwhelming Bears fan either.
Okay, you can keep your card. You can keep your
Okay,
card.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Because
you
I'm
said the
not like,
Packers
ooh, the
fan,
Bears, the Bears. Now, like my husband, oh my God, he don't give a damn. You don't care how often they lose or
that's a good man.
or how
That's
bad they see
loyalty.
you
See, that's
Right,
loyalty right there. That's
right,
loyalty.
right.
That's exactly what we was talking about.
right. Well, listen, I appreciate y'all. Listen, before y'all came on, before you came on, DK, I indicated I respect y'all. I respect y'all opinion. I respect y'all thoughts. I appreciate y'all for just even on Sunday night football, y'all agreeing to come on and have a conversation with me on tonight about what men find sexy. Thank y'all. Um, I just appreciate y'all. And I hope that ladies have heard something. My biggest population of listeners are females. I probably got some brothers that check in on the low. Don't want to say that they check in, but they be I got some brothers that study me. They be looking to see if I'm gonna say something, feminist or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I definitely appreciate y'all and your perspective and what y'all have shared on tonight. And I do think that sometimes we need to hear a man's perspective. I think we need to hear our Black brothers' perspective and what they have to say. And y'all voices are heard. We hear y'all. We listening.
Appreciate you.
Confidence,
Appreciate
confidence.
Definitely appreciate you for having this forum and getting this information out. Um, yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
Yes,
you. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna have y'all back because I need to have brothers on more often. Mark, I'm definitely gonna have you back when you share when you're ready to share more about your book, and that is the Man Blueprint. Because I think
Man
that's
up blueprint.
the Man Up Blueprint. I think that's important
Okay.
for brothers. But thank y'all for joining tonight's edition of High Heels and Lipstick Conversation. I'm going to wrap up. If y'all want to hang out backstage while I wrap up, you are more than happy to do so. But I'm gonna say goodbye to the folks checking in so we can get into this Bears and the rest of the Bears in the Packers game.
Yeah.
Thank y'all again. I appreciate you. So, what men find sexy? So y'all heard it here. They said confidence, a woman that ain't full of drama, and confidence has a lot to do with how you feel about yourself internally, and all that good stuff, how you project what you project, your confidence level, all that. Respectful, calmness, they said a lot tonight. So Listen, um, if you didn't catch it all, go back and catch the replay. Also, like and share. She is Namia on tonight. But yeah, the brothers gave some mature response to what they find sexy, and so I think it was a good conversation on tonight. So listen, I'm gonna be back before you on this Wednesday. Again, I want to thank y'all for allowing me the grace to take last Wednesday off because I needed to for my own health and reasons. But I'm gonna come right back before you on Wednesday. And so I have another guest. Her name is Nikila. She's an author, she's a wife, she's an entrepreneur. And we're going to have some more girl talk. Tonight was girls talk, but we got the brothers' perspective tonight. But we're going to have some more girls talk, and we're going to talk about church girls getting naughty. Y'all know, church girls can get naughty. Some of us are church girls, but some of us get naughty. So we're going to talk about church girls getting naughty. That's Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 7:30 Central Standard Time, where we're going to have some more girl talk. I need you to like She Is Namia, share She Is Namia, and come back right to us. And let's just have some more conversation. Or we're talking about sexy stuff, spicy stuff, saucy stuff, all month long, all month of September. Listen, and then don't forget, not this week, but the following week, which I think is the 28th, we got my girl who is a clinical sexologist. Listen, when she come on Wednesday, the 28th, y'all really gonna be clutching your pearls. Like, I need you to get 2, 3, 4 glasses of wine, because she really gonna make us clutch our pearls. And we're gonna have some more sexy conversation when my girl Lisa comes on. But I need you to like, I need you to follow, I need you to share tonight's conversation. If you enjoyed tonight's conversation, I need you to go ahead and put some kissy lips in the chat. Put some lipsticks in the chat. If you're a brother checking in, put some fists up. If you like what the brother said, put some fists up, some arms in the chat, and let me know that you have enjoyed the conversation. My Gigi Key says certainly does. BM, she calls me her BM. I'm her baby mama. Denise put some kissy lips. She says that was good because we got the brothers' perspective. So you want to just keep checking in for the whole month of September, because we got some more conversation for you on this September. Listen. Okay, so I'm supposed to get out of here, but before I do, I started the conversation just by saying that I had to take last Wednesday off, which is typically the night that I stream and I come before you and we have high heels and lipstick conversation. But I couldn't for, health reasons, what have you. I needed to de-stress. I needed to relax. Doctor's orders, my husband's orders. I needed to relax and just take some time off. But one of the things that, I take lessons, moments to learn from everything around me, all the happenings in my life and everything around me. And one of the things that I would just say that God is dealing with me on is that the fact that it's fall back season. Okay. Not just because fall is here and we're getting ready to experience, fall's, months where we can wear our boots and rock our hoodies and all that. Not just because of that, but just fall back period. It's just fall back season. And as God has been dealing with me, he's just, falling back from stress. Sometimes we have very demanding, jobs and life and children and things of that nature, and things that we can't control. Sometimes we spend so much time trying to control situations around us. Sometimes we just got to learn to fall back, ladies. Fall back from drama, remove ourselves from people and situations that bring about drama in our lives. It's fall back season. Sometimes we just got to fall back. Sometimes we got to fall back from people. And this is a good one, because sometimes people bring drama to us. Sometimes we got to learn to let some folks go and fall back from people, because they don't fit with the season, or they're not helping the season that you're in. So you got to learn to fall back from people, fall back from overdoing it, fall back from trying to save everything and be the problem solver for every situation. If you are like me, I am a problem solver. I'm a problem solver on my job. That's part of my career. That's what I get paid to do. I'm HR. Part of my job is to solve shit, get shit done. But you can get in that mode so much that it crosses over into every area of your life. And it's what makes me good at my career, but sometimes it can overstress you. So sometimes you have to fall back from trying to solve every situation and just let God be God and God be God alone, and allow Him to be the problem solver in your life. We won't always know how He's going to work it out, what He's going to do to fix it, but sometimes you got to fall back and let God get that thing done on your behalf. God also dealt with me on fall back from being the one to try to mend relationships. Because I'm a problem solver, I always find myself in a space where I want to make sure everybody's good, that the relationship is good, that everything is with a person is in good spirits, intact, that we all good. And listen, God is really, 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 really dealing with me on that. Like, sometimes you just got to fall back from a relationship. You got to fall back from relationships with people. And it's okay. Either it's going to circle back around and it's going to all be good, or it's going to fall away. And you know that relationship was not meant to be. And it could be, and it's not just a man and woman relationship. So I ain't talking about my husband. Me and my husband are good, but just falling back from relationships that are just not for the season that you're in, and quit trying to fix it. Quit trying to be the problem solver. Just allow that thing to be and let it go. So you got to fall back. It's fall back season. Fall back from doing too much. And that is always been my issue, always being involved, doing stuff, being involved. And God has been dealing with me and falling back on taking too much on unnecessarily, falling back from social media, even though I'm here before you having this high heels and lipstick conversation. I have intentionally spent days where there have been no posts, or I didn't express my thoughts, or I didn't share this or share that, or I didn't go thumbing through, looking through pictures and all that, or I intentionally turned off the TV and didn't watch. God is just telling me to fall back. You got to fall back on what you're allowing to infiltrate your spirit. And so sometimes even that involves turning off TV, turning off social media, not being even present on social media, not even having conversation and carrying conversation on social media. So it's all about putting things in perspective. And this is fall, we're entering fall, but it's also the season where it is time for us to fall back. Take care of yourself, people. Take care of yourself, ladies. Rest when you need to. Make sure you're getting plenty of exercise, doing what you need to do to take care of yourself. And just in the season, learn to fall back. So thank y'all for joining me on this evening. I appreciate y'all for checking in. Remember to come right back here on this Wednesday at 7:30, where we're going to talk about church girls getting naughty. And we're going to continue to have some high heels and lipstick conversations. Smooches, I appreciate y'all. Until next time. All right. Thank you for joining She Is Namia tonight for another edition of High Heels and Lipstick Conversations. We hope you enjoyed the dialogue. If you have liked what you have heard tonight, please press the like or love button. The share button is free too, y'all. You can follow She Is Namia on all social media platforms. And if you're feeling generous and would like to support, hit a sister up on her Cash App at SoulSister16. I appreciate the love, y'all. Please note the views and opinions expressed tonight are those of She and Mia alone and does not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entity she represents. Also, music was provided by Uppbeat creators at Uppbeat.io. Smooches. Until next time, y'all.